my kids, if anybody's, how many have watched our show? Has anybody seen the show before, any of the episodes? Well, then you probably know my kids. They aren't always the most diligent at doing their chores, and I think like a lot of kids, but maybe even a little worse. And so having that tiger shark, we actually keep our pool very, very clean. Every time I open the cover, I open it, every couple of weeks we open it just to see what's going on in there. And I think we keep it very, very clean thanks to all of the ease of cleaning the fiberglass and also the little tiger shark that goes in there. And then, of course, we have those neat lights. Is anybody from the light company that put the lights around? Yeah, those lights are so cool. The kids, of course, love the way that they change, and it really puts you in a party mood. I was telling Rick last night. He said, so how much do you use the pool? And I said, well, I'm personally been swimming in it. When we had it on, I swam in it every single day. So for about 2 months, I swam every day. And I built up to where I could barely get from one end to the other to where I'm able now to go back and forth and back and forth. So it's been a real, real blessing for me in terms of exercise. The hardest part, though, is getting any time. With those lights in there, the kids think it's a constant party. Every time I go outside, there's kids in my pool. I don't even know where these kids came from, but it's like a teenage, constant, perpetual party outside all summer long. So, which my wife, I kind of grumble about my wife. And no. Better that they're here in the pool than out, getting in trouble somewhere else around town. So we're very, very. It's become a real social center for us, for the whole Roloff family, and there'll be many more episodes to come where you'll see that pool in the background. So, but I also want to spend some time answering any questions you might have about the pool, or even about the show, or about anything else you want me to ask. I will give you just a little bit that may come up. Is we have now done 100 episodes of our show, which is quite a few. We didn't set out to do that at all. We set out to do one episode, one special, and somewhere along the line, one turned into 100, and now we are in the process of, they've come back to us, and every season we say that's the last one, because we really don't consider ourselves, we don't have any desire really to be on TV or celebrity. Well, I'm a kind of a ham. I guess I kind of like it a little bit, have fun. But I'm tired of it too now. My wife, who started off just not wanting to be on the show at all, not wanting to do it, now she's kind of like, this is kind of fun. She's in the groove now after 3 years. But every year we say, oh, that's it. That's the last show that we're going to do. That's the last season we're going to do it. And then somehow we get inspired by people that come and share their stories with us. We get emails from people all over the country, all over the world, that share stories about how they've maybe seen something in the show that's inspired them, and then we hear and we think, wow, we got to keep doing the show, even though it's not always easy, and but at the same time, we think that we're helping people to understand dwarfism. That was our original intent of the show. It's kind of morphed from there into whatever, just being a regular family with our problems and our challenges and our illnesses and our triumphs when we get things like the swimming pool, for example, is a prime example of the kind of thing that that we're really enjoying and that's making it really worthwhile. But, anybody have any questions for me? Here we go.
Can you talk a little bit about the health benefits of having the pool? Do you work with a trainer or a doctor?
Yeah, the question was about health benefits having a pool. Since I was about 14 or so, doctors have always told me that I should be swimming regular. And the reason for it is because there's actually, I'll use that as a segue into talking a little bit about dwarfism. People don't know this, but there's actually 200 classifications of dwarfism. When I use the phrase dwarfism, I'm talking about, we generally classify people that are under 4'10". So we say if you're either under 4'10", or if you have a diagnosed genetic form of dwarfism. I have a diagnosed genetic form of dwarfism. One of the 200 is called diastrophic dwarfism. And what happens with diastrophic dwarfs is your cartilage deteriorates fairly rapidly. So putting weight on your joints is not such a great idea. I've always been, I have a brother, diastrophics run in families. If you're an average-sized couple and you have a diastrophic baby, now they told my folks, oh, that's a 1,000,000 to 1 chance you'll never have another, it's a fluke. Well, that's not true. When you have a diastrophic dwarf, you'll probably have another one. So most diastrophics have many siblings. Okay? And I have a brother. I also have a sister who's average size. But Sam and I both have diastrophic, and I was always kind of a little bit lazier and used to use vehicles and scooters and wheelchairs to get around and what have you. And my brother Sam was determined to walk. Well, Sam's joints, now he's 6 years younger than mine, are quite a bit more beat up than mine. I actually can walk around better. So I kind of the theory is I kind of preserve my joint. So how that relates to swimming is, even though I didn't always do it, I was always told that if I went to get a pool, I could write it off on my taxes as a medical benefit from the doctors. That's how strongly they recommended that I be in the water swimming. Lots and lots of little people are big swimmers, for all the reasons I'm sure you guys know, but it keeps your weight off your joints, so it doesn't tear up it doesn't beat your cartilages up as you are getting movement, so it helps stretch your ligaments by swimming, your breathing, your cardiovascular. I went in shortly before we contacted Viking and Stacy. I went in to do a test where my doctor had a computer and they hook up a hose. I don't know if anybody's ever done this before. And you blow, and there's a tree on the computer screen in her office, in my doctor's office, and you blow the leaves off the tree. That's okay, and it measures you, you know. And so I remember going in there. This would be back about a year ago, and I blew on that thing, and I could not get all those leaves to come off the tree. And also I was really noticing it when I would go swimming. Anytime we'd go on vacation, I'd get in the pool, and we were in Hawaii, I think, 2 years ago, and my kids were like, Dad, you can't even make it across the pool. You can. Come on, Dad, you can make it, you can make it. And I remember every day I would swim a little bit more, and then by the end of the week, I was actually able to go back and forth. Well, then we got our pool in. I go in the doctor's office. Whoosh, I blow every single leaf off that tree in no time. So there's an actual substantial measurable improvement in my breathing thanks to the swimming pool and the exercise. And presumably it's without any detriment to my joints and to beating up my joints. So I'm getting that cardiovascular. It's very, very difficult for me. Now I can get in our pool, and not only can I swim back and forth, I was telling the pool guys this today, but I can hold my breath and swim the entire length of the pool. Whereas my wife was she could always outswim me like crazy, you know. But I spent enough time in our pool now that I can go underneath water and swim the entire 40-foot length of the pool without coming up for air. So it's really, and then I can come out and grab a breath and go right back again. So it's it's been made a really, not just substantial improvement, but also a very rapid improvement. And that's just with 2 short months. And then, of course, the cold weather hit and we put it away. So I'm very, very anxious to get back into it. We're actually looking at a possibility of a geothermal heat pump so we can extend our swim season a little longer. So we're looking at some options to keep the pool heated longer. My kids even think I should take one of our greenhouse covers and put it over it or something, because in Oregon it gets a little cold. But we're anxious to get back in the pool, and we're putting a big deck around it and doing some landscaping, and hopefully we'll have have a real showpiece. I see all these pictures over here from all these pools. I think our pool is going to look as good as anybody's out there when we're all done with it. So we're excited about that.